Hi, this is Greg in Pensacola, Florida. I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Tonight, we're going to take a look at the DungeonWorks Modular Terrain System by James Boykin. This is the second video in the DungeonWorks series. The first video I did about a month ago, I looked at the Classic Dungeon series that he had made, and that included your classic dungeons, your dungeon expansions, you had your traps expansions 1 and 2, and also your half-height wall expansion on there. So I did that video about a month ago, and it seemed to go pretty well. So I'm back with video 2, and this time we're just going to take a look at 2 of the different tile sets from it's called the Vintage Vault series. And so what we're going to look at here tonight of the Palace Citadel, and also your sewer and pipework terrain on here. And I thought I'd just kind of set it up in a small encounter type setting and show you a few additional pieces that you get with this terrain. I'm going to throw a bunch of pictures throughout this so you're not just looking at the same static board the whole time. And also there'll be a link at the end that if you haven't seen the first video, I encourage you to go back and take a look at it, because I thought it came out pretty good and it really shows in depth down on each one of the tiles. So the DungeonWorks systems that James Boykin made, it runs on the Infinity Lock. And it's a little bit smaller than a Dragon Lock, and there are compatible clips to go from Infinity to Dragon Lock and Infinity to Open Lock. And so if you can mix and match your different tile sets. So if you buy into this system, you don't only have to remain in this system the whole time. It's nice. It plays nice with all the other tile sets that are out there that have been put out by Fat Dragon Games and Open Lock. So and with the Infinity clips, you can rapidly put together an encounter like you see on the table here in probably under 30 minutes. And I'm going to go over some of the reasons why I really like the Infinity clip system. I've been asked before, Infinity clip or Open Lock, and I think I'll go over a couple points here on why I prefer the Infinity Lock system. And then if I'm going to build my dungeon for a game night, it's going to be out of this terrain here. So the first things I want to talk about, I'm going to clear a little bit of this away, and is that if you saw in the last video, I had a two-tone gate. This was off the classic dungeon, and so it looked like this because I had to use different filament at the end. I ran out of gray, but that's one of the things. So each area or each theming of his terrain, he does an entranceway, and so you'll see 2 of them here that are hooked up for the Palace Citadel, and then for your sewer and pipework area will be right here. But he also has some of the other ones. So while I didn't print any of the extra walls, this right here is your Dwarven. So if you purchase the Dwarven tile set, this will be your entranceway gate. And these all have doors. I just didn't put them on there, so they clip right into the back, and so you can use the doors to open and close if you like. And so that's what the Dwarven one looks like. And like I said, I'll take pictures too of some of the stuff. And then this one right here, I believe, is your drow-esque area. So if you take a look at that, it's got some divots in the front where you can put some water effects maybe or something like that if you wanted to put it in there, or you can paint in acid, whatever you want right there in the front. So that's the entranceway to the drow. And then this one here, I need to look this one up really quick. This is your Lost Caverns. And so the theming on the type of terrain that you're seeing, here in front of you, the design work that you see on the tiles and stuff like that is going to be themed throughout each one of these areas. And so that's just 3 of the other sets. And then we have the 2 sets down here in front of us. So we have the Palace Citadel, and this is a really, really nice set. When I had to pick a couple of these, the first I was going to pick the dwarf one, because usually I play dwarf characters when I do the encounters. But when I got to looking at these tiles on here, I said, man, these are really nice. So I was going to go ahead and, print out that set. And then I started looking at the pipeworks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the camera down a little bit closer onto each encounter area and just kind of go over it a little bit. And, just tell the story as we're looking at the terrain and things like that. And then go from there. And like I said, there'll be tons of links. There's going to be links to the website. There will be links to the Facebook group. He does have another Kickstarter coming out in August, and that Kickstarter is going to have 4 additional areas on it. So it's all going to be underground themed. So you're going to have caverns, mines, catacombs, and burrows. And so I'm really excited to see that. And there'll be one more video in this series, and that's going to be it is called the Travelers Tavern. So that'll be the 3rd video in this series. I don't have a date for it yet. There's quite a bit of printing in there, but I'm really excited to see that one on the table also. I have a couple ideas to do for that one, but I just wanted to show off some more of this terrain. So let me pull down a little bit closer, and we'll take a look at what's going on. I'll explain the scene that's set up, and we'll show off a few of the tiles. And if you run a D&D game night or something like that, we'll go over why I really like this system, and we'll go from there. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back at the initial encounter, and basically what we have set up here is we have the Palace Citadel, and this is the Palace Citadel terrain. And so I have a series of tiles printed out, and like I said, these tiles all are infinity lock tiles. And one of the nice things about printing with this is a 4x4 tile. Even if you have a CR10, like a CR10, a Creality CR10, you can only print so many tiles flat like this on your printer. You just run out of room quick. What's nice with James's tiles, so these all print vertical. So they're on your print bed like this, and they just stack right in a row. So you can stack a bunch of these up, and just make sure you got some good adhesion, that your adhesion works good. And you can set this up, and about 30 hours later, you can come back and you've got a whole tray full of floor tiles and things like that. So a great number of his stuff prints vertical like this with the floor tiles, which is nice. And then here is the part that really puts it over the top. First, the design work is tremendous on the tiles. It looks good. It's not too tall, so your minis sit on it just fine. It's just solid design all the way through. It's super clean. I haven't had any problems with any of the tiles printing, and there's no supports to clip. So if you look at the end of this, you'll see the openings right there for the infinity lock clip. That's exactly how they come off the printer. And that's probably the biggest difference between, say, your open lock tile and your infinity lock tile, is that I don't have to clip anything out of all these tiles. And that was a real big deal, because at first today, when I was setting all this up, the first thing I was going, all I was going to do is just put the tiles out again and say, hey, this is what this looks like, and this is what this looks like. But because these clips are so quick to put together, and I didn't have to prep any tiles before I started building, I just poured all this stuff out on the table, I got a whole Ziploc bag full of these clips that I had printed, and I just started making stuff. This doesn't follow any book, rhyme, reason. This wasn't any encounter I've done, with, the guys on a game night or anything like that. This is just something that I sat down, and it was fun. It was fun to build. And so you can print yourself a big pile of this stuff, get yourself a big bag of the clips, and just start building. And if you own open lock files, you understand what it's like to clip those out. Those are great looking files. They work great. They look great. But before you start building, you're clipping, and so you can spend if just this amount of tiles right here, if you were clipping all those out, you're probably looking at a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours worth of work. And so we'll say you want to go over to your buddy's game night. You just throw these tiles in here, or you can pre-assemble some of the sections and things like that, because I think, I can pick this whole encounter area up, and I have it lightly pinned together. I don't have every hole put together, just because this is just for this video, then I'll take it back apart. It's not for a game night or anything. And so that was nice. I just picked the whole thing up, by 2 hands, and nothing fell apart. So the clips are strong, and so you can pre-assemble some of this stuff before you go. But, so you got your entranceway, you can start your encounter. All the encounters will start off at the entrance on there, and you come down the hallway. And then the doors, and if you look right here, this opening, these doors, they just slide right in. So if that door slides shut, or you can just leave it open like that. So it's nice. I mean, it's this easy to remove the door. So it's nothing crazy that, you know, you have to turn it out, or it's got a piece that goes over the top that you have to take off or anything like that. You just grab it, slide it off, and your guys come right on through. Let's see if I'm pushing this the right way. Yeah. You know, so in here, I took 2 of the 4x4s and I put them together and just ran some walls around it, and then just decorated it out with some stuff from the last video. You know, these columns. I also have a fountain over here on this side. I just put it up against the wall as a little decor, and then I put the minis in there. So these are your Pathfinder minis from the Pathfinder Battles Heroic Miniature Set. So I just pop some of them out, being that they're already pre-painted, and just grab some of my, you know, evil monsters and just scattered them out there too. These are all hand painted. These are metal, old Reaper miniatures, metal ones on there. But just built a basic encounter, you know, so your guys are in the middle. You know, you got a door right here that would open up, and basically you have your keyed area. So you got your jewel over here that may activate this magic gate. So this tile right here is in the back. Like I said, there'll be pictures flashing up, I'm sure. You know, this tile right here is a magic portal, and then boom, that can take you to a different section that you set up on there. So it doesn't always have to be wound together. But if you take a look at the detail that he did on the sculpting on these walls, they're just great. I mean, this is really, like I said, it's super clean. Everything prints fantastic. Even I'll make sure I get a picture of that. Even the runes that are on there, because that's what's right here. If you come down this hallway and it's got these little half-height walls, and then a full-height wall is right here, there's a bunch of rune writing, and then here's your magic portal. So this may say, you know, you need to get the red key to activate this portal, and that was over here, you know, with that little jewel in it and stuff like that. And so basically, you know, in my head on this encounters, you know, they worked their way through here. They fought their skeletons. They killed them, and the band ported through and went to the sewer. And so, you know, it's just really nice. It sets up quick, and you know, and the stuff is for sale on there. So he has combo packs that you can buy. You know, if you're thinking about it, go see a theme that you like, because the pictures of all the tiles that are in that theme are there, and just grab one and try it out. I guarantee you're going to love the way that these print. Guarantee. You're going to love these things print vertical, and you're not going to have to clip any holes for the pins. And, you know, that's what a pin looks like sticking out of the top and bottom. And it's really nice. You know, he's got a good corner system here. I don't have everything pinned in, like I said. But instead of having to print a big L piece, you know, like this, I mean, those are, you know, when you have to print the corners, they take a long time, and they use a bunch of filament. But if you can print 2 straight walls and just put a little corner peg in here on the sides, and so then you got a multi-purpose wall. Now, this could be a straight wall here. You know, I could have used either one of these in either spot and just put the corner peg in. That's something that's really, really nice with this system. Just how quick that you can put this stuff together, how nice that it prints, how clean the design looks on there. So it's really good. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to take our band, and they've ported through the magic portal, and we're going to go over here to the sewer system, and we're going to take a look at this. So give me 1 second to move this stuff, and I'll be right back. So our band went through the magic portal, and they just showed up here. And this tile set here is called the Flooded Sewers. Well, a majority of it is. And then I mixed in some of the classic dungeon tiles also. So right up here is our entranceway. And this one here has the working door on it. I did put this one on, so you see that shuts. It's like an iron barred door. And so you can open and shut that, and it does work. And I got a couple different color greens on here because I ran out of the super bright green. But anyways, the green tiles are all your flooded sewer tiles. And this comes from a pack called the Pipe Pipeworks, and so all the walls have pipes going down them. Some are broken pipes, some are end pipes and things like that. So it's really neat. So if you see, our party came through the door right here, and there's a giant cage that's got somebody trapped in the first encounter. So if you look in there, we've got a fighter who's been trapped. This is the guy that trapped him in there, and so you'll see that that's a water tile right in the middle. And so with the flooded sewers, you've got water tiles, and then you have this hard brick, but you also have tiles that are part walkway and water. So it's really neat how you can put that stuff together. Like I said, I just printed out a sampling of the things on there and went with that. So, and like I said earlier, you don't have to fully assemble everything. Like on this one here, I've got different parts of it. So if you wanted to sit there and this is all that your party saw until they came into the room and finished that encounter, and then technically at that point, I can take the second half, which is right here. So I'm going to push this forward, and I can just slide it up into here, and then boom. So now we've got this demon down here. He's got a ball of energy in his hand. He's going to whip it at the party. And so you take care of that encounter. Now, if you look right here, you got more waterways coming down to this door. Now, this door and these tiles right here came off your classic dungeon because this is a hidden door. So you see how that spins right there? So they would have to do just a normal check, to see if they get it. Because if they come here to this passage, there's a walkway with this iron gate right here, and there's no way to get across this. I mean, this right here technically is a bottomless pit. And so if they do a search and they find this door, they can encounter through it. So this piece, the iron door, and this right here came out of the classic dungeon. So now you can see how you can start mixing your pieces together. And so I'm going to pull this one back. I'm going to move this off to the side just to keep some stuff on camera. So right here, boom, they go through that they go through that door. So they're in the next part of the encounter. We got barrels. These are from the classic dungeon. Right here, we've got traps. There is a whole ton of traps that you get with the classic dungeon package on there if you buy it. So the party can come through the door. They can, check the barrels. They can avoid the trap. Oh, look right here. Here's a ladder. I bet that would work on that giant chasm that's, right up here. They just got to get through this, and of course you want to give them a little loot by this point. So it's neat. So your characters, let me just grab one. He'd probably come up front to try and disarm that trap, and then come through. But these floor tiles right here are from the classic dungeon. There's also in the flooded sewers hard earth tiles too, so I was kind of running out of time to print, so I just grabbed the tiles from the classic dungeon, which it's your dungeon, you can do whatever you want with it. And so I put that together right here. And of course I could have taken these tiles, and if you take a look at them here again, there will be pictures. This one's really neat. This one has a broken spout, and so you got water running down. I could have kept putting more stuff down to make it bigger, but you get the idea at this point on here. Like I said, I'll make sure I put up pictures of some of these extra tiles. So now your party's got the ladder. So we're going to come back through this ladder, and we're going to come back up here to this encounter point right here, and basically this piece sits on there. So now we got your party. It's on the ladder. And they've just come up to this gate, and again, this gate right here is from the first classic dungeon, so it fits right in here with the Pipeworks, and boom, you pull that open. Let me move this over a little bit, and we'll hit our final boss encounter. For this small encounter area right here. So basically, you got a lich back there who's running a some type of spell ceremony and stuff like that. He's got a cauldron. You guys you're after this to stop him from being able to summon or do whatever he was doing as part of the encounter. And you got a couple bad guys right there. So again, you've got the dungeon tiles from the Classic Dungeon, and this also is from there, and this circle actually comes out. In the first video I do show a couple of these, so it has different types of inserts that you can put into this. You just drop it in, you don't have to glue them in or anything like that. They sit in there just fine. And so then you guys can come through, they can, you know, destroy the Lich, destroy his henchmen, stop the ceremony, and yeah, knock that over and cash in on the loot. So all in all, this took me probably an hour, and that was going slow, having fun, because when I got to the, this is an hour for both sides on there. So with the Pipeworks, I didn't have as many tiles printed for the flooded sewers as I did the Citadel, but I just wanted to show you that you don't have to hook it all together like I did on the Palace Citadel. You can build mini encounter areas and just put them in a box and then take them out of the box as you are ready to show them. So that gives you kind of a little bit of fog of war going on, and gives you some more options, you know, with your players on there. So James has done a fantastic job. I mean, he really has. You know, this is my tile system of choice. You know, I do get sent the tiles as part of the review, and if I'm running a D&D encounter and I want to put some 3D terrain down one night and have some fun, this easily, you know, if you ran your people through this, probably a good hour, 2 hours of, you know, hang out just on this small little setup right here. And so he's got the new Kickstarter coming out in August. And again, it's going to be all underground themed. It's going to be the caverns, mines, catacombs, and burrows. His game site is gamedecor.com, and there will be a link in the show notes. And I also will link to the DungeonWorks Architects Facebook group. So if you saw this video and you like it, go ahead and join the Facebook group, see what the other guys are building in there. And you know, if you do buy it and you get a chance to tell them, and this video sent you there, let them know too. And it's really good. So I'm looking forward to doing the next video. We've already talked once this Kickstarter's over, the next Kickstarter's over, because I've got videos lined up here for a while. I'll get those files too, and I'll show them off on here. You know, I really, really like the fact that I don't have to clip anything. I just put the Infinity Lock clip in. I start putting stuff together, and it helps. It helps, you know, when your mind starts getting in a roll and you're like, oh, this is cool. Let me go get the stuff from the last video and add this pit in here and do the secret door over here. And you got the portal in the Citadel, you know, and so your mind, your hands are almost keeping up with your mind is how you want to lay your stuff out. So reach up here really quick. And so if this is your first time to my channel, this is kind of what I do. I'm hoping to do it much more often on there. It's been a busy summer at work. It's been a busy summer with some other stuff too. I'll go into that in some other videos, but I just wanted to make sure I got this on the table. I do have more videos coming out here. I'm trying to do one. I almost have them set up to be almost weekly right now. So hoping next Sunday night I can get another one out. And but James Boykin, DungeonWorks, gamedecor.com, DungeonWorks Architects on Facebook, and I'm Greg from Pensacola, Florida. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.